When news spread of my subjugation of Sri Lanka, our enemies grew quiet. Only the Pandyas of Madurai still flailed their arms at us, being too proud to accept that their ancient line is now but a cub next to the Chola tiger. With stability secured and the Chalukyas weakened, I have been given a rare opportunity to build upon the foundation that my father laid. I am not averse to war, and Sri Lanka taught me that even some atrocities can be justified for the greater good. But my empire will not be one of violence alone. War is but one tool in the arsenal of an empire. We will employ every weapon that we have to expand our influence across both land and sea, and our first act will be one of diplomacy. There is a rumor out of the Far East. Suryavarman, Emperor of the Khmer, is said to seek an alliance with us. Such a pact would be a great step towards domination of this region. Indeed, the star of the Chola Empire has only begun to rise.
We have come a long way, but our journey is not over yet. We must brave the seas and bring Emperor Suryavarman's gift to Rajendra Chola. Sailing across the open ocean will be hard on our ships. But the shallow waters along the coast are infested by Bengali pirates. We should prepare for an arduous journey either way. The rough seas are damaging the hulls of our ships. We should make landfall on the Andaman Islands to repair before we continue.
This is an exquisite gift.
Sorry.
I have heard of your Emperor Suryavarman and would be happy to consider an alliance. You may rest in my palace for now. We have much to discuss. An alliance with a great foreign power will boost our imperial prestige. But it is only a first step. We must expand our influence across both land and sea so that the Chola Empire can reach true greatness.
Your Highness, our trade vessels are under constant threat from Bengali pirates. If you could build a castle in the heart of their operations, the trade guilds would be forever grateful.
If we are to dominate the seas, we will need a navy that no one will dare confront. Let us build warships until they cover the ocean. The Chalukyas send raiders across the Tungabhadra River, knowing that we cannot yet afford another full-scale war. If we build a fortress along the border, we should be able to deal with their raids easily.
Your Imperial Highness, while constructing your new armada, we discovered a way to strengthen the hulls of our warships. Perhaps it may be of interest to you.
You are making quite a name for yourself, Rajendra. My ports are abuzz with tales of your imperial splendor. You may trade freely in my waters, if you wish.
Your father was a great patron of the trade guilds, Emperor Rajendra. It is my hope that you will continue to plow that furrow. Just imagine the prestige in overseeing the largest trading fleet on the high seas, not to mention the revenue.
Disaster has struck, Your Highness. The Chalukyas have installed their own puppet in Vengi and turned the city against us. Their armies are now marching across the Tungabhadra River.
Anyone who is willing to stand up to Rajendra Chola is a worthy ally. Let us join the Chalukyas and restore the glory of the Pandya dynasty. For years I have played at being the benevolent diplomat and hesitated to vanquish my foes. Yet this is my fate? To see all that I have worked for come undone? Like a proud tree shattered by lightning? Of course it is. For what does kindness bring except another reason for your lessons to hate you?
This has been a fruitful partnership, Rajendra. What would you say to a deepening of our relations? I would be delighted to have such a renowned junior partner.
How are you finding the trade business, Your Highness? Is it not quite the boon to the Emperor's, the Empire's finances? Before long, the name Rajendra Chola will be synonymous with fabulous wealth and power.
என்ன கட்டளை?
For a second there, I thought you were pirates, boys. If you see any of those scumbags sailing around, lure them to me and I will take care of them.
Your traders come in swarms, but they never make port in my kingdom, Rajendra. I must insist that they make landfall and pay a trade tax to me. Worry not. It will only be a tiny one.
This is an outrage. To levy taxes on our poor international traders, why, I have never heard of anything so despicable. You must do something, Your Highness.
With our prestige growing by the day, it will not be long until my father's dream is realized and the Chola dynasty rules both the land and the sea. This fort gives us a foothold in pirate territory. Let us scour the seas and search every cove. It is time to root out these parasites for good. Our fleet descended upon these pirates like the torrents of Vritra. Now nothing remains of them but flotsam and wailing souls, soon to be reborn as the vermin that they aspire to be in this life.
என்ன கட்டளை?
Magnificent! I would like to see the Chalukans try to get past this fortress. My allies kneel before me, and my enemies shatter against my army. That great sword which I have fashioned from a mass of human material. Never again will anyone question the might of Rajendra Chola. My enemies lie shattered before me, and the Chola Empire stands victorious once more. Why then? Does it feel as if something inside of me is breaking? For years, I have sought greatness not only for myself, but for my subjects. I have treated even our rivals with the dignity befitting ancient dynasties. But my softness has only led to setbacks. Only when I unleash devastation upon my enemies, soldiers and civilians alike, do I seem to conjure up any lasting victory. Perhaps my father was right after all. I cannot be both great and benevolent. One virtue must be sacrificed for the other. The price for greatness is inevitably corruption. the slow death of everything that I believe in. For a long time, this quandary has sent me into tortuous dreams. It is as if a black seed has been planted in some murky crevasse of my soul. I have ignored it, hid from it, all for naught. Could it be that my fear of corruption was but a sign of my inexperience as a ruler? Something that my father learned to overcome in the harshness of his later years. For if one cannot reach greatness without being corrupted, without giving in to that deep desire to increase one's power by any means available, then is corruption truly a bad thing? I was reminded the other day of a story that I had nearly forgotten. The tale of the god Indra and his battle against the mighty serpent, Vritra. The Vritra had taken all of the rivers of the world hostage, causing a global drought. Only by destroying the 99 fortresses of the Vritra and slaying the beast itself was Indra able to liberate the waters. The priests would call me sacrilegious, but to me, this tale has a hidden meaning. I am facing a Vritra of my own, and that monster is the great lie that I have lived until this day. The 99 fortresses are the little lies that are still burrowed into my soul. My irrational fear of corruption, my distaste for violence, and that misplaced care for the so-called innocent. Only when I destroy these inner fortresses can I unleash the greatness within me and become a ruler whose name will live on for millennia. To do so, I must look beyond our traditional enemies. Far to the northeast lies the land of Bengal. It is here, where the sacred Ganges meets the ocean, that I will achieve my greatest triumph yet. I have announced a march on the Pala Empire that rules Bengal. General Arayan has already left at the head of a large vanguard. Together, we will bring holy water from the Ganges back to Chola lands, so that the gods may bless our realm. And if I can defeat one of the greatest empires in the known world in the process, then all the better. The journey ahead of us will be long and arduous, but take heart, men. Once the Bengali emperor lies dead in the field, you will all drink from the sacred river Ganges. The kingdom of Kalinga is the first obstacle in our path. Many of their soldiers are spread out across the countryside, so the city should be easy pickings.
The Cholas are here. Lock the gates. Abandon your posts. I mean, defend the city with your lives. Shiva, we are surely doomed, are we not?
உங்கள் சித்தம் முன்னேறு. சரி. என்ன கட்டளை? சரி. முன்னேறு. பாய்ந்து தாக்கு.
Kalinga is ours. Let us rest and bandage our wounds before we continue our march.
It appears that King Indrarata fled as soon as he saw our forces on the horizon. He now hides in a small fortress in the mountains and plans to attack us from behind once we leave the city.
உங்கள் சித்தம் சரி.
If we kill him, we could crush what little remains of the resistance.
I hear that you have captured Kalinga, Rajendra. I too stepped on an ant this morning, you know. But you do not hear me bragging about it.
A ship filled with resources has arrived from Tanjavur. Make sure that it reaches our army unscathed.
உங்கள் சித்தம் சரி ஐயா. அப்படியே.
I hear rumors of a vast Chola force marching on my land.
என்ன கட்டளை? இந்த கணமே போகிறது.
Do you truly believe that your army of fledglings can go toe-to-toe with the Pala Empire, Rajendra? It did not work out too well for your predecessors, if memory serves me right.
என்ன கட்டளை? சரி ஐயா. இந்த கணமே போகிறது.
Utkala lies before us. Its thick walls and dense forests are formidable defenses.
பாய்ந்து தாக்கு.
Perhaps we can find an easier way inside.
The walls of Utkala have not been breached in living memory, and they will not fall today.
சரி அப்படியே முன்னேறு உங்கள் சரி ஐயா
Utkala is ours,
சரி
but we cannot stay here for long. Reinforce our army and let us face the Bengali emperor in battle.
சரி ஐயா என்ன இந்த
It is good to see you again, Rajendra.
அப்படியே
Now,
சரி ஐயா
Mahipala has arrayed his army on the battlefield and prepares to attack. My men and I have scouted the land thoroughly, however, so we will not have to fight blindly.
We must hurry to secure our position.
அப்படியே
Prepare for
இந்த
battle.
கணமே போகிறேன்
When this day is over, we will wash off the blood of our enemies in the sacred waters of the Ganges.
My dynasty learned not to embark on extravagant campaigns like yours long ago, Rajendra.
சரி இந்த
Now we will teach the Cholas that same lesson.
ஐயா கணமே போகிறேன்
Send forth the Rathas!
அப்படியே முன்னேறு முன்னேறு இந்த கணமே போகிறேன் முன்னேறு இந்த கணமே போகிறேன் எடு உங்கள் சித்தம்
A ship filled with resources has arrived from Tanjavur. Make sure that it reaches our army unscathed.
What have you done? Only a barbarian would destroy such a work of beauty.
The Pala army scatters like birds frightened by a tiger's roar. Victory is ours. Despite suffering humiliation at my hands, Mahipala refuses to bend the knee. He retreats and leaves eastern Bengal open for raids. And in doing so, he saves his dynasty from annihilation. A part of me admires his staunch resistance. But that is a part of me which must die. There can be no admiration for one's enemies, no respect for those who refuse to accept their place in the world that I am creating. For now, I will leave Mahipala to pick up the pieces of his broken pride. Another, even greater predator has drawn my eye. The empire of Srivijaya has ruled the Straits of Malacca for centuries. Their central position on this vital trade route has allowed them to grow wealthy and powerful beyond imagining. And now, their tentacles reach into my domains. For years, they have forced traders to make port when they pass through their waters. The trade ships now ignore our harbors, and the Srivijayan Emperor Sangrama is taking all of the riches that once ended up in our coffers. So far, I have been too preoccupied to challenge him, but this new status quo cannot be allowed to stand. I have decided to invade Srivijaya. It will be a military operation on a scale never seen before. 1,000 ships and 1,000,000 men, crossing the ocean to deal death to this empire of middlemen. I have contended with empires before, but none of them hold a candle to the Srivijaya. Their navy dominates the eastern seas, and their fortresses are guarded by undefeated armies. For the first time in years, I doubt whether I can outmatch my opponent. But if I am to secure my legacy, I must strike hard and give them no time to prepare. This war will either be my undoing or propel me to the greatness that I have dreamed of. It is a gamble that I must make, for he who dares at all must dare it all. Thus, I go to slay my Vritra. The empire of Srivijaya lies at our feet. Let us find a suitable location to disembark and strike while the enemy is unprepared. It is high time that these pirates in royal clothing were put in their place. The Srivijaya have arrayed their navy in the Strait of Malacca. They will be expecting an attack from this direction. But I believe that our navy is strong enough to face them head on. The villages on Sumatra provide Srivijaya with many of its resources. If we can take control of them, we might be able to bleed the enemy dry.
சரி பாய்ந்து தாக்கு.
Our Khmer allies are occupied with fighting their old rivals. If we defeat the Tambralinga, Suryavarman's forces will be free to aid us in our struggle.
இந்த கணமே போகிறேன். முன்னேறு. பாய்ந்து தாக்கு. ஆயுதத்தை எடு.
We have established a beachhead in enemy lands. From this fortress, we will strike out and conquer all of Srivijaya.
கட்டுவேன் என்ன கட்டளை மரம் வெட்டுவேன்.
My messenger told me that you had crossed the ocean with your entire fleet to fight me, Rajendra. I was certain that he was lying, but alas, it seems that I executed him for telling the truth. Ah, well. If this is the death that you have chosen for yourself, I will happily wield the slaying sword.
இந்த கணமே போகிறேன். அப்படியே. என்ன கட்டளை? பாய்ந்து தாக்கு. என்ன கட்டளை? ஆயுதத்தை எடு.
The Cholas have captured another castle. We cannot let this continue. We warned Emperor Sangrama about you, Rajendra. But the Emperor's pride made him blind to the threat that you pose. Fortunately, we prepared and mobilized when he would not. Prepare to meet your end.
Another fortress falls to the Chola Empire. Srivijaya is crumbling before our very eyes.
The Cholas have captured another castle. We cannot let this continue. Tambralinga lies in ruins. I am grateful for your help in this war, Rajendra. You can count on my support against Srivijaya.
Another fortress falls to the Chola Empire. Srivijaya is crumbling before our very eyes.
If Srivijaya is to fall, at least we defended her. To the very end.
My empire lies broken, and my cities drown in blood and tears. Please, Your Highness, no more. I beg that you accept our surrender.
Such is the fate of all who oppose Rajendra Chola. The fires of Srivijaya still raged as we celebrated our victory in the imperial palace. Emperor Sangrama and his officials were invited to publicly swear fealty to me. To a man, they all proclaimed their love for their new ruler. Love indeed, for all hatred had been beaten out of them. For the first time in decades, I felt perfectly calm. I knew then that my transformation was complete. I had proven my father right and built an empire that spans across oceans. I had unleashed the greatness within me and overcome all of my childish delusions. In doing so, I had learned one great truth, that there is no such thing as corruption. It is only what the weak call the will of the strong, and I am no longer weak. The child within me is dying. The man has taken its place. The serpent writhes and withers away, slain by the hero's hand, and the captive waters rush out into the world once more. So ends the tale of Indra and the Vritra, and so ends the tale of Rajendra Chola.